Hi, my name is Georgia Berger, and I'm doing my honors project presentation on the mathematician Sophie Germain. Sophie Germain was born to a middle-class family in the 19th century. Her father was an educated man and owned a collection of many books. She began studying in her father's library. She would sneak away at night and read her father's books. However, her parents discouraged her studies as they, alongside with society, felt that it was inappropriate for a woman to indulge in such studies. So why did I choose Sophie Germain? As I mentioned earlier, it was seen as inappropriate or unheard of for a woman to study in a field such as mathematics. Even today, women are not mentioned very often, and their accomplishments and advancements are not recognized. Sophie Germain had a deep interest in mathematics and would fight to be able to study. Her parents were against her studying, and she would escape in the middle of the night to be able to study. There's also been said that her parents took away her clothes, heat, and light just to keep Sophie Germain in bed at night instead of off studying, which is kind of the opposite of what they do now, which is funny. I commend her not only for her mathematical accomplishments, but also her drive and determination to study her interests despite society being against her. Germain was also the first woman to win the prestigious Paris Academy of Sciences Prize. So a little bit about Sophie Germain's background. Sophie Germain was born in Paris, France in 1776. She was born into a family where her father was a businessman with his family business. During the French Revolution, which began in 1789, Sophie Germain was 13 years old and had to stay indoors with nothing to do all day. That being said, and her father having an extensive library, Sophie began to utilize her father's library daily and indulge in various books. She grew fond of the story of Archimedes and specifically his death, where he was so focused on geometry, they ignored the orders of a Roman soldier who eventually killed him. She was mesmerized by the idea that someone could be so in love with the subject of mathematics, which encouraged her further studies in the field. Career beginnings, the start of Sophie Germain's career. In 1794, a new college in Paris opened up called the École Polytechnique. However, women were not able to attend this school. Germain obtained free lecture notes from the mathematician Joseph Louis Lagrange in his course in analysis. Germain submitted a paper on analysis to Lagrange under the pseudonym M. Leblanc. He was impressed with her work, and when finally getting to meet Germain, he was surprised to find that such great work was of a female. He agreed to mentor Germain and allowed her the opportunities to meet with other mathematicians and scientists, which would never have been possible for Germain to do alone as a female. Number theory, Germain's work in number theory. According to Oxford Languages from Google, number theory is the branch of mathematics that deals with the properties of and relationships of numbers, especially the positive integers. In 1804, Germain began writing to German mathematician Carl Friedrich Gauss about his work in number theory. She wrote to him describing her findings that correlate to Pierre Fermat's last theorem, is an equation which is shown above. Fermat thought he could prove that this equation cannot be solved if n is greater than 2. When n is equal to 2, this is Pythagoras' theorem. Germain proved that if x, y, and z are integers, and if n equals 2, or n equals 5, then either x, y, or z must be divisible by 5. Germain made huge progress in proving Fermat's last theorem for the case when n equals 5. Vibrations of elastic plates. Sophie Germain's work on elasticity. Ernst Chladni was a German physicist. His experiments consisted of fine sand being poured on a glass plate where he would rub a bow against the plate, causing vibrations. These vibrations caused patterns that depended on the shape of the plate, the position of the support, and the frequency of the vibration. He later demonstrated his experiment to the emperor at the time, which was Napoleon. Napoleon was impressed with Chladni's experiments, and in 1809, he had the first class set up a contest where the one who would set up a theory to explain these experiments would win a prize of 1 kilogram of gold. Germain was eager to be the one to propose the theory of elasticity, and she fought hard to work alongside many esteemed mathematicians and scientists. Germain focused on applying a methods of Euler to further explain elastic plates. She proposed that at any point on a surface, the force of elasticity is proportional to the sum of the major curvatures of the surface at that point. While she was the only entry in the contest, she did not win the award, as her proposed theory did not include principles of physics. One of the judges, which was Lagrange, fixed Germain's calculations and came up with an equation which is shown above. In 1811, first class extended the contest and Germain again was the only entry. She proved that Lagrange's equation did describe Chladni's patterns. However, she did not win and she only received honorable mention. Finally, in 1816, Germain entered the contest for the third time with her paper, Memoir on the Vibrations of Elastic Plates, and she did win the Paris Academy of Sciences prize at the age of 39. Germain went on and continued to publish several more memoirs on the theory of elasticity. She also became the first woman who was not a wife of a member to attend the Academy of Sciences sessions with the help of Jean-Baptiste Joseph Frié. So my goal of my presentation was to bring recognition or awareness to more women, influential women in the field of mathematics. While my presentation focused on Sophie Germain specifically, I decided to add other influential women in the field of mathematics. So in conclusion, Sophie Germain was a mathematician that did not give up despite everything and everyone being against her. She sets a great example for all girls to never give up and to move past the boundaries that are set in place to limit your growth. Thank you for listening. And these are my references.